Hi everyone and welcome. Right, today I am finally going to show you the paints and the consistencies needed for making these really cool pearls that I like to call popcorn pearls. Okay, so yeah, there's one example. Here you'll see that the pearls are a lot more pronounced and sort of they come out more, and that's because this one I tried with a black background versus a white background just to see what the difference really is. So that's why we're going to go with a white background. But let's talk about consistency first. Excuse me. I use one of these consistency gauges. You can grab one for free from pourscraperepeat.com. I'll pop that down in the description box below. Okay, mine's covered in plastic so I can reuse it, so that could make a slight difference in consistency. But basically your base color and your colors that you're using, that's the last layer is the colors. So yeah, the base obviously first, then the magic ingredient, which I'll talk about in a bit, and then the colors. And both the base and the colors are roughly 3.5 on this gauge. And let me show you what I mean. You pop a drop of paint exactly or more or less the size of that circle there, then you lift it up vertical and you count to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you can see it is at 3.5. So that's a perfect consistency for this pour. Now these are actually a lot thicker than you would normally use in a pearl pour, but because of this magic ingredients here, that's fine. You don't have to have these really runny. This is actually the same consistency I use for my Dutch pours. So it's great because I can use the same mixes for two very different techniques. So there we go. Enough of the introduction. I am very low on my base paint, so I'm just going to go ahead and mix that. Right, what I use, let me just get rid of my mug in there. What I use this, it's actually the same manufacturer, Taylor's, as Amsterdam paints, but it's slightly cheaper, our creation, and it's a titanium white. And like I said, the white base works a lot better than a black base. Or, you know, if you prefer the other look, why not? Why not go with that? And I literally just eyeball this, but I reckon there's about, I don't know, 1 or 2 parts to maybe 8 parts. This is European Floetrol. So if you're using US Floetrol, you will get a much runnier consistency to begin with, because you know it is just so much more runny than the European version. But if any of you try this with the American version, obviously you just need to adjust the amount of water you add just to get to the right 3.5 consistency. And if you do, please let me know how you get on. I'd love to know how much this European Floetrol has to do with, you know, those popcorn pearls forming. Right, so now I'm just gonna give this a very good mix. Keep adding water, and I would thoroughly recommend using distilled water, because you can store these paints for almost indefinitely without them going moldy or spoiling. So I would always recommend using distilled water when mixing paints, and it's pretty cheap anyway, so it's worth the effort going and getting some. I get mine in a gallon jug and just put it into this bottle here. So you can see that this is probably way too thick, but let's have a look anyway, see what it looks like. I like using these sticks because it's quite easy to get the right amount and not too much. Using the big wooden mixing stick for this, and you just end up with way too much paint on the dot and have to start again. So here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, nearly 3, so it's not actually that far off, which is great. And again, just eyeballing it. Same with the colored paints. I think I use roughly about half and half of the European Floetrol and paints. Again, distilled water to thin. But again, you can pretty much just eyeball it. The one you really can't eyeball, I don't think, is the gold paint that makes the pearls happen. But I'll show you that in a bit. So I'm just going to finish mixing this until I have the right consistency. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think we're pretty much there. I'm just going to add a little tiny drop more because I think I counted a bit slow there. So just give that a final mix. And that's the base paint then done. There we go. I use the mug in there, or the cup, to scoop out the paint because this bucket is way too large to scoop it out of. Right, and next on to the magic ingredients, the gold paint. And for this I'm going to need a scale because I know pretty precisely what I need to do. Let's wipe these off so they don't dry out. Now I have some already in here, so I'm just going to give that a good mix. Let's get another mixing stick because it's separated. It's been sitting there for ages and ages and ages. I haven't gotten around to doing this for a long time. Okay, now the real magic ingredient is this. It's a Deco Art Metallics, and this is the 24 karat gold. So just pop your scale on, and then let's see how much we want to pop this in there. It's separated quite badly, so I'm just going to give this a mix as well before I whack it into the pots. There we go. This is quite thick, but nowhere near as thick as some of the tube paint. So here we go. I zero that again so it doesn't play tricks on me in a minute. So let's do, there's 46 grams in there. And then it is 50-50, the gold paint and the European Floetrol. Again, if you're using US Floetrol or especially Australian, your mixture will be a lot skinnier or thinner after this. So you probably want to use a lot less of the Floetrol and just make sure you get to the right consistency. As for the right consistency, let me show you. Just wipe the mouth of the tub. The European Floetrol is quite, how would I say it nicely, snotty. There's a lot of goopy, snotty stuff in there. That's why I use this. Oh, there we go. The rubber band broke. Never mind, I'm not going to need that anymore today. So let's get rid of that and get a new one next time. Okay, so yeah, that's where I use something, piece of a pansy hose, anything like that on top of the pot, because you know, getting those bloopers or snotty bits in your paint is not pleasant, and then you have to fish them out from your pour. Okay, and with this one there is no water used, but again, remember, if you're using a runnier Floetrol, you most likely will have to use a lot less than 1 part of Floetrol compared to the Deco Art. Again, just a drop there, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you see it is a lot thicker, but that's what we want. We want this to be a lot thicker than the other paints, so that's 2.5 maybe. There we go. Okay, right, now I'm going to pause for a bit. I'm going to clean up my mixing doodahs and get a canvas ready, and I will be back shortly. Okie doke, now we're ready. Okay, make sure, I thoroughly recommend getting a spirit level, because I have done it quite a few times where the canvas, or in the beginning I did a couple of times where the canvas wasn't level in both directions, and that causes your design to be ruined while it's while the paint's settling and drying, because the design will move. So I've spent a lot of time, probably a good 5 minutes, making sure the canvas is level. And now for my paints, I've just chosen a random bunch. I've got some pinks. This is a graphite with sterling. This one's a Amsterdam oxide black. This is an important one because you will get part of the popcorn pearls definition with the help of the black. And this one's almost empty, but there's a bit of purple. Another one that's nearly empty, some more pink and some more pink. And I've got plenty of spare bottles of paint there should I need them. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer these in the cup in just a pretty random order. So there we have it. That's my cup of paint all ready. Okay. The canvas, by the way, is a gallery wrapped 100% cotton, already primed, triple primed, I believe, canvas. It's in centimeters 30 by 60, or in inches, I think that's 12 by 24. And I really like this shape where the length is twice the width. But saying that, I have never yet made this design on such a large canvas, so yeah, I'm guinea pigging myself today, so to say. Right, I want to make sure everything is covered. There's quite a lot of paint there, so I'm just going to go ahead and evenly spread it out. There we are. There's quite a lot of paint there, but that's fine because I want things to really move well in a minute. So just going to pop any air bubbles at this stage. There we are. And now for the gold paint. So we just spread it right in the middle. And because this is such an oblong canvas, I'm just gonna do this sort of thing. I think that's enough. And then the cup of mixed paints. Okay, so I'm just gonna pinch one end to get sort of a funnel shape going, and I think I want to do sort of a traveling ring pour here. Might be a fairly cool design. Oh, I love that black and pink and charcoal and sterling silver. The sterling silver is deco art again, by the way. Yeah, I love that effect. Very, very cool. Okay, and now, fair warning, if you don't like wasting paint, please look away now, because quite a lot of it will be tilted off. So here we go. Just start slowly tilting towards the corners. Let that go over. Bring it back to the middle. Let it go over the other end. And you know, you could have some cups or something ready to catch any drips. I will just use my spatula to grab that for a future base paint once I'm done tilting. Oh, that's a cool design already. Just try and get those corners, although I don't mind if there's some of that gold paint left. Okay, and with this, the more you stretch, the more you'll get those cool popcorn pearls popping up. And at this stage, I just like to look for a composition I really like. It gets messy because there's so much paint here. You can probably tell I could have done with a little bit less, but like I said, this is the biggest canvas I've ever done for this technique, so it's pretty hard to determine just how much you need. And now you can already see some of those pearls starting to develop. Just stretch it a little bit more and a bit more in this direction. Okay, and now I am going to leave it. I need to start tidying up. My surface isn't level, which is why I had to spend so much time with the cups, making sure that they were propped just right for the canvas to be level. And that's why the paint is running towards me. But yeah, what I'll do now is I'll pop you on a time lapse, and you can just watch and see what happens when pearls start developing. And yeah, it could take a while. Sometimes they're still developing after 45 minutes to an hour. So yeah, in the meanwhile, enjoy some music and watching the pearls grow in time lapse, and I will just be tidying up, and yeah, I will speak to you once the design is all done. Just gonna slow down the camera here. This is always a good trick. You can use your torch just to tease out a few more of those pearls. See how when the bubbles pop, you start getting new ones growing. And I might just give this a little tilt back and forth, because that can that can tease out those pearls too. So just here, we might have a bunch more growing. Not sure if you caught what I accidentally did there. I was cleaning up the excess paint from that side and actually dripped a bit just there. But luckily, I don't think it'll be too noticeable in the final design. But either way, I'm just going to see if I can get rid of it a little bit. Right, so just a few more passes with a torch. See if we can't get some more of these pearls happening. And then I am going to leave you with the camera and time lapse the recording, and I'm gonna go take a break. I'm gonna finish cleaning up a little bit later, so I will be back in about half an hour. So let's just stick that camera on time lapse and see if we get some cool stuff happening in the meanwhile. I will speak to you soon. Well, what do you know? I forgot to put the time lapse on. Sorry about that, everyone, but never mind. Just look at these popcorn pearls. Aren't they so cool? I love the shimmer that the gold 24 karat gold paint gives. It is so gorgeous, and I love that I stretch them out here. They really look so cool bunched up together. I love it. But I'd love to hear what you think. Leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye.